Deep in the sky, where the stars burn bright, Stardog had the same dream every night. It was full of star dogs, all alight and dancing merrily in the sky. There was music and laughter and a feeling of belonging. Wow, beautiful star dogs. All different kinds. So beautiful. But the dream always ended, the laughter dimmed, the music died, and Stardog awoke to an empty night and silent. Is my dream only a dream, or are there others like me? Stardog had been on her own for so long she could not remember, and day by day her magic faded away. Oh, she's lonely. One night, heavy with loneliness, Stardog fell out of the sky, past the planets, down and down. She's tumbling. Looks like she's going towards Earth, huh? That looks like Jupiter. So it's got the big red eye. Down to where the familiar fell away and the unknown grew all around. With her magic gone, Stardog was unable to fly home and soon drifted into a dreamless sleep. Looks like she's in the woods, sleeping and dreaming. As the sun rose, it shone upon a world that was beautiful and plentiful, especially to a Stardog who had always lived high in the night sky. Oh, look at that, beautiful rivers, butterflies, and trees. She wondered, there are so many creatures here. Could there be another like me? Perhaps other lost star dogs have fallen here too. Stardog felt a ray of hope and began a new quest to find the other lost star dogs. She climbed hills up and down, peering through tall trees and down deep valleys, always searching. Looking for someone like her. One day, a peculiar bridge appeared, rising out of the mist. She raised her head and saw a moth and a crow tangled in the bramble bush. Stardog pulled aside the thorny twig so they could flutter free. "Thank you," fluttered Moth. "We've been trying to untangle ourselves all morning." "Who are you?" asked Crow. "Do you wish to cross the bridge?" "Yes, I'm Stardog, and I'm looking for other Stardogs like me." See, they're caught. That's the moth, and that's the raven, or the crow. That is a beautiful bridge she gets to cross. What a beautiful world she landed in. Stardog's tale. You see, I've always lived deep in the night sky where 5 kinds of magic star dwell. Flying stars deliver important messages and hold the magic of endless flight. Falling stars are gardeners and growers of stardust and hold the magic to help all things grow. Dream stars are often in need of rescue, for it's in their nature to wander and hold the magic of golden light. Traveling stars create the star maps to navigate by and hold the magic to listen. Lastly, there are the wishing stars. They're hardly ever seen, and their magic is a secret, even to me. When these stars come together, they form a crown, and something incredible happens. A Stardog is born. They give us life and magic, and in turn, we protect them. Together, these stars gave me the name Stardog, keeper of stars and protector of dreams. But now I am lost and my crown broken, so I must find another Stardog to help restore it. There's a puppy Stardog. Moth and Crow were curious and kind as Stardog explained her important quest. They had never met a real Stardog, believing they were only a myth. At once, they knew that they must help her. "Come with us. We'll take you across the bridge," fluttered Moth. "Thank you," said Stardog, glad to no longer be traveling alone. How did you two come to be together? Crow smiled, and Moth began to tell their tale. Ooh, look at all those trees. This is a persimmon tree. That looks like cherries. Maybe apples, peaches. Yum. Should be snacking on those trees. Moth and Crow's Tale. Many years ago, when I was still a tiny caterpillar, began Moth, I sat shivering alone in the snow when suddenly I heard a voice ask, "Why are you crying, little caterpillar?" "Oh, hello, Crow," I replied. "I'm sad because my family have all become beautiful moths and flown away, while I have been left behind." "Then we were alike," smiled Crow, "for I too am left behind and unable to fly far on this hurt wing of mine. Please come stay with me in my warm nest this winter." And so I followed Crow back to her cozy nest where we became good friends. But one morning, Crow awoke to find me gone. She searched the whole nest, but she could not find me. Then Crow discovered a cocoon and knew my transformation from caterpillar to moth had begun. During the long, cold nights that followed, Crow waited patiently by my side. Stardog listened as they came over the bridge and down a winding path to a fast-flowing river. Look at all these cool frog statues. And there's a tiny one. Under the cool shade of a large willow tree, a frog was humming and strumming a lullaby. "What a grand ship," admired Crow. "That she is, and I'm her captain," said Frog. "But alas, I have no crew." There's the frog strumming and strumming. These look like beautiful turtles. "We can be your crew," offered Stardog. "Where to?" "Through waters brimming with sea monsters," Frog hummed. "It's very risky." "Are there star dogs there?" asked Moth. "I don't know, but we can set sail and search," said Frog, who was always ready for an adventure. And trusting in one another, they climbed aboard Frog's ship. As the sail opened wide and the ship floated away, Frog began his favorite tale. Look how happy Stardog looks. His boat is called The Journey, and his cape says Friendship, because it's a ship. Get it? Frog's Tale. "When I was just a tadpole," Frog said, "I lived in a deep well far from here. As I grew into a young frog, I began to wonder what lay beyond the walls of the well. One day, a seagull came to drink from the well. She told me of a place called the ocean, filled with fish and other colorful creatures, a world of water like my well, but over 1,000 times bigger. I told the seagull, 'That's impossible,' but the seagull just smiled and flew away. From then on, I thought only about the ocean. Could there really be such a place? The other frogs all told me to stay safe in our well and stop filling my head with dangerous ocean nonsense, but I could not forget. When the seagull next returned, I bravely said, 'Please take me to the ocean.' She scooped me up and flew high into the sky. The world I knew shrank away and another one opened up before me. 'There is another sky below us,' I cried in fear. 'That is the sea, the ocean,' laughed the seagull. Flying low, she dropped me gently into a ship amid the waves where I began my adventurous life as a sea frog, determined to see all of the world." Wow, what an adventure they're on. After a while, the waters began to calm and the ship drifted to shore. A tunnel of trees swayed in the cool breeze, and at its entrance stood a tiger. It stretched out a friendly paw and invited them to rest. Look at that colorful, friendly tiger. And a beautiful lotus flower. Looks like star fruit for Stardog. As night fell, Stardog gazed up at the stars and was reminded of home. She told Tiger of where she'd come from and her journey to restore her magic. Then she finally asked, "Where does that tunnel lead?" "No one knows," rumbled Tiger, "because no one has ever made it to the other side. But legend says if you make it through, your dreams can come true." "What's your dream?" asked Stardog. Tiger smiled and began. Tiger's Tale. Where I'm from, all tigers have beautiful black stripes and from their proud heads to their tails. But when I was born, I had not one stripe on my orange fur. Night after night, I tried to be a good hunter and blend in with everyone else, but my bright orange fur, I always scared away our dinner. Soon I grew used to eating the fruit from the jungle. Then one morning I woke up to find my very first stripe. My stripe was not a beautiful black like the other tigers, but a peculiar shade of purple. Day by day, more of these purple stripes appeared on my fur until I had a full coat of stripes. I had grown so used to my dinner of oranges and melons, I no longer desired to hunt. So I left the jungle where I was born, in search of a place to belong, purple stripes and all. I journeyed for many seasons, and soon heard a rumor of a mysterious tunnel that was to grant a wish to those brave enough to journey through it. And here I have been ever since, trying to journey to the other side, in the hope that it will one day grant my wish. At first light, Stardog jumped up, waking frog, moth, and crow. It must lead to the lost Stardog, she believed. "You will never make it," yawned Tiger. "I've tried many times, but when the tunnel gets dark, everyone turns back." "Come with us," invited Stardog. "Together we can make it." "Perhaps," Tiger nodded. Stardog, frog, crow, moth, and tiger stepped into the tunnel. They gazed up at its beautiful bows and followed its mysterious long path. Which grew darker and darker as they walked on. The darkness loomed over and muttered, "Turn back." "I'm afraid," admitted Tiger. "Me too," croaked Frog. "Afraid but brave," encouraged Stardog. But the darkness held tight and growled, "Be afraid, for I devour all light, little Stardog." The friends quivered and quailed, and even Stardog was afraid. They all felt lost. But then Brave Frog began to strum a friendly song. One by one, they all hummed along. Their music filled up the dark. Oh, very scared, huh? And a light kindled within Stardog. "I'm not afraid," Stardog barked, "for I shine brightest in the dark." A golden stardust trail blazed through the darkness. Together they burst through the tunnel, triumphant. And on to a vast golden desert. It was silent and empty. There was not a single Stardog. They had searched and searched to find nothing. As the sun set, Stardog looked up at the distant stars and howled. It was a sad and lonely sound. A soft humming and strumming gently filled Stardog's ears. She opened her eyes to see Moth, Crow, Frog, and Tiger beside her. For a long time they all sang into the night, until the moon was full. Stardog looked round at the friends she'd made. They were so kind, curious, merry, loyal, and true. She smiled, "Thank you for being here beside me." She was no longer alone, and nestled between her friends, she felt something new, a calmness, a sense of belonging. It awoke something warm and bright within her, a golden nimbus of stardust. It rose, flew, and it fell upon the sand, taking root like seeds to germinate the wide land. Stardog beheld a sight more wonderful than a dream, a place to call home. "Look at all we grew," she smiled. Wildflowers and friendship too, sang Frog, and the friends all laughed with delight. And in the crown, atop Stardog's head, 2 stars glowed with magic. Perhaps in time, the last 3 stars would light up too, but for now, Stardog looked at her friends and knew this was more than enough.